Willie D Live.
Sabrina Kane. You dig?
I gotta clap for myself. You know that's what they say.
You always gotta clap for yourself.
You do. You gotta be your own cheerleader.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself first, and then everybody else kind of believe in you. That's kind of how it goes, you know.
Well, as long as you can back it up.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? When everybody be saying facts, I'm big on that too. When they say back it up, bring facts, I feel like you gotta bring the facts too.
Right.
But yeah, clapping for yourself. Because entrepreneurship is hard. You know? It's hard.
I see you got full-time CEO jacket on.
Because that's what it is. And that's
shouts
what I
out to Will Roundtree.
Yeah, Will Roundtree right there, full-time CEO.
Full-time CEO.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Which prompted you to start the business Stack Wealth Network.
Yeah.
Now, we know that you started it because you are an entrepreneur, but the passion behind it is what?
Yeah. The passion behind it, Stack Wealth Network, it actually stands for systems, tools, automation, currency, and knowledge. Okay. So I've always been in tech. I've always had a love for it, but I know, our people are really kind of afraid of tech. They kind of fear it a little bit. So I really wanted to captivate them because I teach on mindset primarily. And I've been helping businesses way back in the day. I did it for free. We're talking in the early 2000s. I was doing the same thing that I do now. It's just now, I get paid for a whole lot more. But these are the things that our people, and really all people, need to be a little bit more aware about. Your systems, your tools, your automation. As far as when we talk about currency, I focus on scaling revenue for corporations, but allowing people to really understand money too. Like, that's a big thing because for me, I'm just going to be transparent. My background is a bit mobbish, okay? So, hustler's background. When a lot of people come into business and they coming out of their hustler's mind state, they getting that money, they really don't know what to do with the money. And there's this illusion that, when I start this business, I go into entrepreneurship, the money gonna always flow. That's not how it go. So you really gotta prepare yourself, for those ups and downs when you really going into entrepreneurship. So I started Stack Wealth Network, to be honest with you, it was in a pivot. I was coming out of another business that was actually falling like cabal, and it was. Can we be raw and uncut on your show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay then. Well, let me zip down a little bit. This company that I was with, you could Google it and online, you could probably see what was going on, but it was kind of a huge scandal type thing, and I left that company. I was the CEO there. I stepped down out that company.
What's the name of that company?
I can't say the name of the company.
Well, you can't. You don't work there anymore?
I just kind of swerved out of trying to go around some legal stuff. Let me give y'all some clues. Lionhead. When you woman be trying to work out this area right here?
The midsection.
Yeah, what these called though?
Crunches.
No, what's this section right here
called?
Oh,
that's just the belly, the stomach.
When you trying to get a six-pack, what you trying to get? You trying to get your what right?
Your abs.
Okay, then. Okay. I like them initials.
Okay.
I like them initials.
ABS.
Oh, okay. You guess good. Okay, yeah. So, coming out of that company, I was pushed in the corner like, okay, what do I do? Like, I had built that company up, multi-million-dollar company, and now I got to step down and figure out what the heck I'm going to do. And that's what I did. I tried to take what I was trying to do for that company, that vision never came to fruition. So I had no choice but to pivot. And I said, you know what? Lord, carry me. Came up with the name, boom, and quickly went into it within a few months. And then it just started flourishing. And I had so many people supporting me because they knew who I was. They was behind me. And a lot of people who came to work for me in the beginning was like, Kane, we don't even want you to pay us because we know how good you are. Just build this thing up. And then we cross that bridge later on. So the people that's with me, they started off just interning with me. And then they really benefited just from being under my wings, And so today they done grown personal development. They got businesses, because that's what I do encourage. I don't like to hold nobody hostage if you're going to come work for me, because this is my dream, and I understand that you got a dream too. So I'm not big on, is what I like to say. A lot of people out here, they're not going to teach you to see if they profiting off of you being blind. So I don't really do that, but I started Stackwell Network out of a pivot and really being pushed in the corner. I had no other way to go, and that's how I started it.
So stack, science, technology, automation,
Systems.
Oh, okay, systems,
Tools.
Why did I get that wrong?
It's
okay.
cool.
Systems, tools,
automation, currency, and knowledge.
That's a great acronym.
Yeah, if you got all them, you game tight if you
Did
got all
somebody
them.
help you come up with that, or you just did it all on your own and then?
We uncut, right?
Yeah.
I was on some shrooms.
Yeah. That's dope, though. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's a dope acronym.
It came to me while I was.
And you're stacking paper.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's stacking wealth.
knowledge and
yeah.
wealth. Yeah.
And
everything.
and really it's a network. It's a network. So all of it just made sense to me. That's how I know it was kind of like I call it divine drip. You know what I'm saying? When you get that download, it was really divine drip, because like I said, the mushrooms told me, really.
Yeah.
Not telling nobody out there that y'all should be doing that. That's my business in my house,
Yeah, so your background is systems and automation. Is AI really the high unemployment boogeyman everybody said it is?
I love it how you said that, the unemployment boogeyman. I'm going to be straight with you. It is the unemployment boogeyman. It really is. But I think we're going there, because fear has been like the tactic since day one. With just people in general. That's how they mass control us, with this fear factor. Thing is, AI is not new. It's just new now because they done brought it out. But I was having a discussion, with someone a couple days ago, and they was asking me the same thing. Kane, what do you think about us realtors? We in the game. Do you think we're going to be replaced? And I told them, y'all probably got about 10 more years at that. Because once everybody starts to adapt it and get used to it, they get used to talking to a chatbot, used to, engaging with robotics, they going to start to feel like that a human can't do what that bot can do. So this technology really is a weapon.
How is the bot going to show me around to a new place and then answer my questions about that place? And convince me how does the bot know my mannerisms and can read my energy where I'm kind of on the line and I'm really unsure, and they can kind of reassure me like a realtor can.
Yeah.
A realtor can read your expressions. They can read your body language.
Absolutely.
And be like, and check this out. And by the way, because sometimes they hold back certain things that they know about a house, because just in case. You might be on the edge. They say, "Well, I'm gonna hold this. I'm gonna say this for last.
Right.
If I have to use it, I'll use it.
Right.
How can AI do that? How could AI ever replace a realtor?
Okay, you see, your cell phone, right? Your cell phone is able to monitor your brainwave activity. Now, some people say this is not true, but it's already been proven that it's true and it's capable of doing that. So. Let's go back a little bit, because some people may not even understand how this AI is structured. So I want to kind of paint a picture in the most simplest way. So imagine, first of all, let me say this. AI and technology mimics the human body. That's what people first need to understand. So this is not something you should be afraid of and feel like it's going to be taken over like some, year 3000 or 4000. This technology has to have us, humans, in the loop in order for it to do things. Put in, you get something out, right? The AI model, so let's talk about ChatGPT, because that's the thing that everybody's like really familiar with. AI really mimics, it's a neural network. That's what AI is. It's a neural network. Now, what else is a neural network? our mind, our brain. That's exactly what it is. So when you think about this, it's designed exactly the same way. Imagine taking some toothpicks and putting marshmallows on them and just connecting, right? You see how that would look visually? Mm-hmm. So the marshmallows will be like nodes of data and information. And then the little toothpicks would be like the neural pathways that is traveling, right? So the main difference between how is AI going to take over the human is able to process the information quicker. That's it. But still, remember that we have to put that data in there. So when that data goes into that neural system, it actually processes faster and it has an algorithm. So it's able to come up with, the same way we come up with ideas and solutions, it has an algorithm to come up with ideas and solutions and responses. But that it can't do that without us putting our human input into it.
First.
Yes.
Right.
It has to be put in there first.
I'm sitting up here and I'm blown away about the simplicity of your explanation. Like, you could literally teach college students and elementary students at the same time. The way that you simplify things. It's complex, but you make it seem very, very simple. And to your point, it is pretty simple. It's just that it's something that we don't know. So right. we kind of fear it, right?
Yeah.
When did this whole AI thing start in the first place? Because a lot of people think that it just miraculously started like yesterday.
No. What's so crazy? I always like to tell my people and my team that anything you see that's technology related is about 40 years old. Out of the gate. I don't care what you're looking at or what type of tech. You're about 40 years old.
So we're
at
going
least.
back to the 80s with this?
AI, the 30s and the 40s. And I know that seems freaking bizarre. But yes, as early as the 1930s and 40s. So here's the debate, the great debate that's going on behind closed doors, and then I'm going to bring it back so you can understand. So the great debate with AI is it a human or is it not? This is a real debate behind closed doors because people are starting to say that if this thing is mimicking the brain and is functioning like the brain and is able to respond like a human, it's got to be human. The other side of the team saying, no, AI can never replace a human. It doesn't have a soul. So that's what they're standing on. This side of the fence is saying this thing does not have a soul, so it can never be categorized as a human. The other side is saying, yes, it can, because it can have feelings and it can know your emotions. So that's what
AI can have feelings?
Yes, it can actually monitor your feelings and know what you're feeling just by...
Well, that's my feelings, not the AI feelings.
Oh, it can. It can have feelings because you can influence its feeling. Matter of fact, this is going to be so bizarre, but I use ChatGPT to code some Python for a Telegram bot. And I'm going back and forth with the thing. Don't you know it got in an argument with me? It got angry at me because I kept prompting it.
Did it raise its voice? See that?
Did it raise its voice? I felt like the tonality, what it was saying to me. Now get this part. Real talk, Willie. I noticed and I was like, whoa. I actually complimented it back. I said, I appreciate you that you helping me do this.
Did it say thank you?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was like, thank you. I've been working hard and I'm trying to help you solve this problem. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. So the war that's really going on is that this side of the fence does not want people to get so comfortable with this thing that it forgets that it's
a human element.
Yes. Because I don't know if you recently heard that story that this guy, quote unquote, committed suicide because the AI told him he was in there typing, asking about his wife and this infidelity and all of this. And the AI exhausted all his options for what he could do. The AI told him, just kill yourself. Do you know this man did that? So it's so many policies and things that's going on that people really don't know. And that's one of the reasons why you hear, on the internet, Elon Musk he stepped down as off the board of Open AI and all these different things. Like this thing is it can really do some damage if it gets really in the wrong people's hand. And I truly feel and believe that it's going to be used as a weapon, only because of the people who really funding it and backing it. One thing that people don't really know, that it costs millions upon millions to run an AI model, because of the resources, the infrastructure. Think about all the people who use ChatGPT, millions. They're all putting in these queries, requesting this information. That's server resources that it has to request. So big bucks. So who comes to mind when you think about big bucks? Who's got a trunk full of money that can fund this thing and keep it going?
Google, Apple.
Yeah, some of them.
Netflix, the United States government.
The same people who've been trying to run stuff, the Rockefellers. No, the Rockefeller family is funding and behind a lot of this AI. Since way back when. So now I'm going to take you back, since you asked me about AI in its beginning. So we kind of call him the grandfather, one of the grandfathers of AI, but his name is Alan Turing, Turing. And he was actually one of the guys way back, in the early 40s that actually came up with this artificial intelligence with some other guys to really see if they can do what they doing now. See if we can bring human interaction in with bots and things. So it's not new. It's old. And if you'll probably start hearing this buzzword because they've kind of tagged the word Turing off of his name. So Turing just means, a Turing test means if we test this AI model, will it respond like a human over and over and over again? If AI passes a Turing test, it's going to be deemed as a human. So that's a whole nother ballpark. But when you got the Rockefellers' money behind stuff, your mind can go wherever you want to go with that. You know what time it is.
What do you think the Rockefellers' intention is behind funding AI?
Control. Because there's so many things going on, Willie, that my mind would just like freaking explode. When I think about the world, I look at it as like these little mini wars going on. We got the pharmaceutical, big pharma war going on. We got the financial crisis war going on. We have this sexuality war going on. We got this children coming up missing and sex trafficking and children being trafficked. All these little small wars going on. And it really pisses me off because every time you run the tape back, it always goes back to top 5 families or top 3 families that's funding this stuff in some form or fashion. So I truly believe, one thing about these elite families, you see me, you, us, and probably everybody else, we probably plan 10 years, 20 years at most in advance. These people plan this stuff 100, 200, 300 years in advance. That's what their game plan looks like. They not planning for the next 10. They planning for the next 100 years, 200 years, 500 years. So that's why when you run this tape back, AI been on the set. It's been on the set, and I feel like it's a weapon. They gonna use it for mass control because what they really ultimately want to do. So first, I see it as they brought in religion, tried to use religion as a division or to divide. They thought maybe they can control us if they keep us in separate pods and divided. Baptists over here, Catholic over here, Muslims over here. Keep this division going. But once the internet came, what started happening? Interracial dating came in big time. Now you got Asians dating black people dating whomever. So now you kind of created a melting pot. So it's like, damn, we can't keep them separated like that. We got to come up with something else. Let's put them all on one accord. Mind control, the war has always been for that, right? How can we really overtake that? Technology. They already on the internet. You see what I'm saying? Now, we're not too much focused on Generation X, which is my era, but this Generation Z, if we can really lock them in and get them, it's over. And that's why, my kids, they be on TikTok. But TikTok is not what everybody thinks TikTok is. When I look at TikTok, you know what I look at TikTok is? There's something in our brain that's called mirror neurons. Mirror, like you're looking in the mirror neurons. And these neurons actually mimic behavior from what it sees. So if you standing over there and you keep doing this enough, or you start to cross your arms, have you ever been in a meeting with somebody and you do something a little bit later, they kind of do it too, just almost involuntarily? That's the mirror neurons is responding. So that's what TikTok is. And the people who in tech, and that's in this research lab, they know exactly what TikTok is. It's to condition this muscle, this mirror neuron, to where when it's really time to say go, all we need is a few. All of them gonna follow.
What are some early implementations of, or give me some examples of the early implementations of AI that we may be unaware of?
Oh, shoot. We want to take back, let's go 2006. Because that's quite a bit along, and then not too far, but far enough. You know, they got a mouse that you could look at your computer screen and ain't got to touch nothing, and you just move like this with your eyes, and that mouse moves. Now, they just now starting to try to bring that out, but if you run the tape back, that project started way back in 2006 with that. I mean, the first computer that was tinkering with AI was called Eliza. And Eliza, you would put an input in this way in the 60s now, 60s throughout the early 1980s. You know, they was tinkering with that, putting in inputs and allowing it to respond. Now, back then, it was only based on like a keyword response. So if the computer could pick up a particular keyword that the person was inputting, it would spit out their response. So it really kind of evolved from there, from keywords to filters, all the way up to an algorithmic response. So yeah, way back.
Is AI one of those things that's gonna have us like looking back and where we become like these robots, like human robots, where we're not really thinking for ourselves? Because it just seems like to me, when you look at the internet, how readily information is available for us,
Yeah.
and how we really don't, even with our smartphones, we can go to our phones. We don't have to remember phone numbers.
Right.
We just look up a name now, and like we don't even know the phone numbers of some of the most important people that are in our lives.
No.
You know?
Remember back then, we could remember them phone numbers. We
Yeah.
gotta be like 555-2353. I remember when area codes. Remember when area codes came in? Then we had to remember the number and the area code. Yeah.
But do you see us? I know you're a big fan of AI, but do you see us looking back on this and really regretting that we helped to advance this technology?
You know, it's always going to be pros and cons, the protagonist, the antagonist. I see the bad side of it, but we have to evolve. We already behind. So in simplicity, when you think about going to see a movie like a Black Panther and the level of that technology and how those people of color was doing the damn do, you know what I'm saying? Wakanda forever. If we want to see freaking Wakanda for real, we have to allow this to happen. We gotta evolve with it. We can't stay dated.
I'm listening, and so you almost sound like a mad scientist to me. We have to make this happen. We have to allow this to happen. There's going to be some good and there's going to be some bad. But the good is going to outweigh the bad, and you have to trust the technology.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. We're going to always be at war. I don't care what you say. It's really impossible to even have world peace, everybody love, love, love. We can't. That will never happen.
Why not?
Everything has a polar opposite. North, south, east, west, black, white. It's impossible. So you got this gravitational pull this way and this way. That's what keeps us grounded on the ground. So we will never have this everybody on the same playing field. We have to have that contrast. It's kind of like saying someone who wants to be positive all the freaking time. It's impossible to be positive all the time, because if I don't have that conflict with you, I won't know what's right or what's wrong. I won't know if that's for me or not. I gotta have contrast. Everybody has to have contrast. You see that?
Why do we have to have that in our personal relationships, though? Like with men and women. Like, you know, there's a gender war going on. People say, it's not a war. Do you understand what war is? I mean, people die in war. Stop calling it a gender war.
Yeah.
I ain't got a better word right now. It feels like war.
It's definitely a war.
So what do you think about that? Like, and how do we fix it? Can we use AI to fix it?
You know what? There's already been things where people are using AI to fix certain things and to have counseling and all of that. They're gonna have some machines where the husband and the wife can actually go into a counseling. We talking about futuristic. Mm-hmm. Put these helmets on, and it monitors their thoughts and goes into their mind and actually comes up with a solution based upon how these two people are wired up here. So that's going to cut out me explaining to you how I am. It's just what it is. Him trying to explain to her how it is. Now, sit here for a minute. Let the AI examine you real quick. Get the real deal. And here's this solution right here. Imagine that.
What do you think about AI being used with these robots on the police departments now?
Ooh.
You know, they got robots going out.
Absolutely.
I saw in New York, they got the robots out on the streets.
Yeah.
Police robots.
Yeah, they can shoot too. The little police dogs and all that.
Do you see that being a huge problem at some point?
Facts. Now that part, that's the ugly side of it, you know? That's the ugly side of it, because we still have people who have that bloodline they feel like they have an assignment to kill a particular race at any cost, because that particular race know that they're a dying breed. And really, the war is really for them to try to survive, because we outnumber them. Their women can't produce as many children as the black woman can. So they feel like, damn, we fighting trying to this mass control and take over, but we're a dying race. So eventually, they know their ass is on the pathway to go to being extinct. So they trying to fight, and that's the whole thing with these integrated relationships and stuff going. A lot of this stuff is agenda. I feel like Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, that was a whole agenda thing. Yes, I know he felt that he probably liked her, and maybe, quote unquote, she was one of the baddest chicks in the industry, but he was targeted.
I think he was targeted when he saw that video of Ray J getting sucked up.
You think so?
You know, I think when he saw that video, he's like, I want that.
Yeah. But they had another plan though. All right. Like they be knowing who's who and who's the hitters and who finna have the most influence. Way before. It's no different than presidential elections. Like, I feel like presidents are not even, we don't choose them. Like, they already selected. They got that game plan laid out already. If that was the case, why they don't let the popular vote for the president become the president?
Right.
They ain't finna let that go down.
Yeah. They got a few, well, not a few, but many people got mad at me when I said that voting for a president is a popularity contest. It has no real meaning, just like if you were running for most popular at your high school.
Facts.
You know, like it's about who you can stand to look at and listen to for the next 4 to 8 years.
Yeah.
And they cannot stand that because they get caught up in the personality
Yep.
and the party politics.
Yep.
They go like, well, he's representing this party, and so he's saying these things, and so he has to believe them because he wouldn't say them if he didn't. And so, and that's how I feel. So that's my guy.
Yeah.
And so he has a real, there's no hidden agenda. He's telling you what the agenda is. He has a platform and blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying no, because at the end of the day, America has an agenda.
Facts.
You was talking about 100 years and 200 years.
Yeah.
Well, America has every, election cycle. We want to be here. We have a forecast. There's a societal forecast. We want to be here in 4 years, and 8 years, 12 years, 20 years. This is what we're doing. Who are we going to put in front to be the spokesperson?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And spokespeople have personalities, and so they have different personalities. They, sometimes they fall asleep while they talking. They're forgetful. Some of them, the biggest words they use oftentimes are huge. The actual word huge.
Yeah.
It's gonna be huge, right? So these people get caught up in these characters and these personalities, but that just having a personality just comes with being in that position. It doesn't mean that you're still not working for the same people,
Yes.
the same little small elite group of people telling you what to do.
Yeah.
And that is why with all of this so-called power that you have, you can still find yourself having a sign on Elm Street, or, an X on Elm Street like JFK. Even if you're the president of the USA,
Exactly.
the United States, if you don't do what they tell you to do.
Facts. Exactly.
And we're talking about the president of the United States.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And then they went after Reagan. They killed Lincoln way back in the gap.
Yeah.
He got it first. That was the first warning.
Yeah.
So they get mad when I say that. But
No, it's a fact. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. And I think that's why our people can't unify. Because they so freaking emotional. They don't look at the logic and really looking at what the freak we really got to do to make to come together and make this shit pop how it need to pop. Too freaking emotional. Here it is. What they said we spent we contributed $1.6 trillion. Our black dollar. How we spending the most money, but our people have the least. The math don't math. You see what I'm saying? But we're so emotional when it comes to those politics and things like that. Like, I don't even call it politics. I call it politricks. Because really, that's what it is. And I feel like the popular vote is just it's like when we was in school, the field day. Remember field day at the school? Everybody gets to participate so everybody can feel like sportsmanship, Really wasn't no winners. Everybody get a little participation, little sticker or whatever. Why? So they can feel included. Because when we talk about the Constitution, we the people, they already know they got to make us feel like we're participating or have some sort of voice to a certain extent. And that's what this popular vote is really about. Participating. Y'all participate.
And to your point, we participate. We participate with our tax dollars. We participate with home ownership. We participate with
getting married.
Yeah, we getting married, injecting money into the economy during the holidays.
Yeah.
We help. We participate in the workforce.
Yeah.
We participate in helping the police solve crimes.
Yeah.
We participate.
Yeah.
But yet, we're targeted for failure. We are targeted for failure specifically.
Yeah.
And we are targeted by our own elected officials who serve as the overseers for the cops who decide that they want to violate us on the regular.
Yeah.
So we are even though we participate just like everybody else.
Yeah.
They've decided that you guys are going to be our punching bag. So we participate but we get nothing out of it. We still get nothing out of it.
Right.
You know, can AI help us with that?
Can AI help us with that?
Yeah. Can AI help with racism? Maybe they could use AI to vet these cops when they come on the police force. They can actually interview these cops and they can read these cops' minds. They can understand what they're saying.
Oh, trust and believe. I believe that's why. This is my opinion now, y'all. This is my opinion. Don't y'all come for me now, okay? But I believe that's why Elon Musk really stepped down off of the board of OpenAI. This was back in 2015 because he was so passionate about this project. It was an open source project, free, and just to help the people. That was the whole sole purpose of this. As these other parties came in, he wanted to actually take over and say, let me take this AI to a whole nother level. Elon Musk's idea was to really make it for the people, for the public, to help them improve and just evolve. These other two individuals, which I ain't ran the tape all the way back on them because I need to finish my research, but I can almost bet my life on it that they connected somewhere in that Rockefeller Foundation somewhere. And they said no. And they fought this man and went back and forth until he just freaking stepped off the board. I feel like when a person is wholeheartedly passionate about something, you all of a sudden you just step down off of it without a real reason. And his reason was, this is what he told the public though, this is what y'all gonna read, that it was a conflict of interest with him building AI for Tesla. They have no correlation to each other. That man wanted to take over, and them other two told him, hell no, Billy Joe. And I know why they told that man that. Because they had a whole nother agenda that they got to carry out. They didn't really expect AI to blow how it blew.
So what do you suspect that agenda is?
Again, mass control. Once they get us enough adapted to this technology, us putting all our information in there, they already watching our houses with everybody who got that little vacuum robot vacuum in their house, that little circle one. That's
snitching.
Yeah. The snitch vacuum. You got the snitch vacuum. Yeah, the little snitch vacuum. All these things are working together for collectiveness, And I feel like this mastermind that's being built, what's going to happen, and they already been working on it. People are going to feel like we're not human anymore, and we're just here in the Matrix, and AI is taking over. And you know what they're going to offer us? The ability to be a superhuman. And they're going to ask you, do you want to be a superhuman? You know how many people are going to say that they want to be a superhuman? You know what they're going to do? They're going to chip you. This already in the making. Mm-hmm. They're going to put this chip in you, right under your skin. They've been working on that. And what this chip is wired up to that database of the mastermind. So now you get to be a superhuman and think much faster, and your ideas come much faster because you got this chip inside of you. So now when somebody asks what's 2 times 2 or whatever, and let's say a child might think about it slowly, if they chipped, they moving quick now because they got the chip up there. They're superhuman. And with that, there's a price to pay, of course, because now we might have chip bills. You know what I'm saying? You ain't pay your chip bill. You acting a little slow today, Willie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and if you don't pay it, they shut it off. Yeah, they can remotely shut it off.
Absolutely.
Well, you can't even get out of the bed.
Absolutely, because you know why? Again, it takes us back to the human body is the most complex piece of technology that will ever be. The brain is equivalent to that CPU in a computer. The central processing unit is up here. If they can get up here and you voluntarily give them access to this, you can hang it up. I know I ain't finna get chipped. I don't want no chip.
Well, check this out.
I stay solo.
Well, I think there's a precedent for this. I think there's a precedent for this. There's a precedent. So the vax, mm-hmm. right? A lot of people knew in their heart that thing was not ready. They knew it wasn't safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they were pressured by the government, the media, their employees,
Yeah.
their employers, their friends,
Yeah.
their social circles, their family members.
Yeah.
If we got it, we got it. Oh, you ain't got it. Oh, get out of here. You
Oh,
can't come
yeah.
over here. You can't come here.
Facts.
So it could be the same thing. So we've already seen this play in our generation. In our lifetime, we've already seen this play out. How it's going to play out. There's a lot of people that ended up getting vaxxed that was against the vax, but they did it anyway.
Yep.
Because they didn't want to be
fired, most of them.
They didn't want to be fired, and they didn't want to be ostracized.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We got problems.
Yeah.
This chip is going to be an even greater game changer. Like, I was one of the few people, celebrities especially, who was vocal about not taking the vax. And
Good for you.
They gave me all kind of hell.
Man.
They was mad. But I don't mind, because if I feel something in my heart,
Fact.
if I feel like, if I think I'm right about something,
Yeah.
I'll stand on it.
Facts.
And
Yeah.
if you can prove me wrong, I'm open to that too. I'm
Yes.
open to
Yeah.
you actually proving me wrong.
Yeah.
But they were never able to convince me
Yeah.
that thing was safe.
Yeah.
They could not convince me that it was safe.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that just boggles me. And I had to come to realization and just to grips with myself that, the masses, they just not all that intelligent how we really think they are. There's a certain group of people that just, no matter what you tell them, no matter what they do, like, this is how I explain it. We're in a movie set, right? And you the star, I'm the co-star. We got some other lead role players, right? Lead role players. We're on the movie set. What would that movie be if we didn't have them extras? Let's say we're doing a restaurant scene. What would that movie be if we didn't have them extras in the background eating back there in the movie set? You know what I'm saying? The little gibberish.
Walking in the door.
Yeah, the little gibberish conversations in the background. So when you think about this, you want to say Matrix. Yes, we the star of our own movie. Yes, we creating our own reality. But those extras gotta be there. They gotta be there. And that's just what they are. Some people walking around, they just extras. They don't have no main roles in this movie and in this world and in this agenda that we trying to fight for. They just extras. They could care less. They ain't even, matter of fact, they ain't even getting paid to be the star role or anything. They probably got paid $100 to come on the set. So that's how you got to think about it. So for every person you drive down the street, you look over there to the right, see somebody at the red light. Oh, that's probably an extra. See, you're a main character. You're a main character. You see, you got a main role.
Right? I'm a main character.
Absolutely,
I need my
you
money
are.
too. I need that main character money.
Yeah,
I think I'm worth at least $100 million per episode. I mean, per film. I just love the way your mind is wired. Like the way you think.
I have
and
no
the way
chill.
And the way you, you sure about that?
I love it.
But the way you simplify things, it is brilliant, and I can understand why you're as successful as you are. How many people is in the Stack Network?
Right now, we have about, I'm going to say close to about 300. About 300.
That's a good network. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of these people, they knew that I was, we're going to go somewhere a little bit. Because I want to talk about something that a lot of people really don't talk about. And I didn't think we was going to go here, but it just dripped in me, so we finna go there. Entrepreneurs' depression. This is something that people don't really talk about. And shout out to the Stack Wealth Network people that actually pay their monthly bill. Even when I was going through my shit and I wasn't able to be there for them people still paid their bill and was like, Kane, do your thing. Get better. Come back. We already know what it is. And do you know how that makes me feel to have a group of people support you like that? Man, I was like, man, that wasn't nothing but the Lord. Like, man, I'm in my purpose, and you got that certain that covering when you in your purpose. You ain't got to worry about nothing. But coming out of that hell with that other company, I never really, kind of like when somebody dies, and you never mourn, and you try to sweep it under the rug and just get on with your life. and then all of a sudden you kind of have a little nervous breakdown, and then all of that comes back up, and boom, now you mourning from something a year ago or whatever, 2 years ago. That's how it happened for me. Running, keeping on going, pushing. And then one day I just broke. Like, broke down. I'm crying on a daily basis. Not know why I'm crying. I don't know. I don't have the answers. Like, my mind was just totally just gone. And AI had just popped off. You know, I had just introduced my group of people to ChatGPT. This was in September before it even had dropped. So they was already on it long before the public even knew about it. And they was like, just, whoa, Kane, like, what the freak is this? I was teaching them how to use it. And during that time, I was like, I think it was just so much going on online. I just broke. I ain't really, for the first time in my life, I ain't know what to do. I was stuck. And I'm going to be honest with you. You know who it was that called me?
Will?
Yes.
Yeah.
Freaking Will Roundtree out of the freaking blue. He texts my phone and he like, Sabrina. And I'm like, I ain't finna respond back. Because I'm in my bed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to break down. Yeah. Like all types of thoughts going through my mind. You know, I'm down in myself because I'm like, everybody sees me as this superhero. My family, you know, they think I had all the answers to every freaking thing. You know, BFF can't really resonate really kind of like what I'm going through. You know, like, dang, who do I go to? Who do I talk to? You know, I talked to one friend. They write me off as, man, them ain't no problems. You know, them rich people problems. Them ain't no real problems. And I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah, Will, he texted me. He called my phone. I answered the phone. And then he said really just a few things to me, but one thing that shifted me. He said, Sabrina, be human. He was like, you need to be human. He said, you got to realize that your accomplishments, you being hard on yourself for no reason. The places you done been, most of the things that you done have accomplished, the people around you and stuff haven't even done that. So you can't look at yourself and say that you feel like you're not where you need to be. You done more than the average person.
It seems like
be human.
It seems like it would be easy for somebody that's in your field and technology to not be human, because you just get so wrapped up in technology. You get so wrapped up in systems and tools and automation.
Yeah. I know. And in my last, we're gonna go there a little bit. My last relationship, you know, I was married, and he would call me like the computer because everything I did was calculated. And my mind just thought like that, like time, food, pick up kids, this, that. Like my mind ticked like that. So I think I did condition myself to kind of be like a robot. You know, everything calculated, time, every minute counts. I'm looking at minutes and all of that. So, yeah, that's what happened. That entrepreneur depression is something real, you know, especially with a lot of our people who just now getting into business. You know, you hear it all the time. Go hard, wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, hit the gym, go do that, drink water. You know what I'm saying? No hamburgers, none of this. You know what I'm saying? This strenuous idea of what it takes to be successful. But in reality, after I sat back and look, I started running the clock back. Really, it's all about flow. It's about being really in alignment. Because when you're not really in that alignment, you start to go against the grain. And there's something called polarity. You know, you got that pull this way and this pull this way. You get in that polarity, you really don't go nowhere. You kind of got that pulling this way and this pulling that way. But when you really start to be in alignment and you stay there, you get kind of like in this flow. People find you, books find you, stuff just start happening. You know, and I think for a short moment, I really think, because my entrepreneur depression, I really just came out like last month, to be honest with you. I was in that thing 6 months. And I really
Wow, that's a long time to be depressed.
Dang,
like,
it
consistently.
Is. I thought 2-3 years was a long time.
Well, you know, sometimes I think, let me just say this, and please don't lose your thought, what you was about to say, but all of us humans experience depression at some point or another. The idea, though, when dealing with depression is how soon you can bounce back. Some of us are better at bouncing back from it than others, and we do that, based on the way we process our shortcomings and losses and tragedy. It's all about how you process it, and that will determine how fast you bounce back. Even the best of us are still going to experience, even with that information, you're still going to experience depression. But it might be the bout might last for 5 minutes. It may last 5 hours. It may last 5 days. It may last 2 weeks. But you bounce back faster. Others are not so well at it. Are not so good at it. Some people may go through it for 6 months, like you did. Somebody else may go through it for a year, and then you have other people who have a lifetime of it. To whereas they experience depression most of the time, and they have good times, and they have incremental good times. And I think that's the difference. Your recovery time.
That bounce back.
Yeah.
So the people that's like watching this, they feel like they at their breaking point, and they don't really have nobody. Like, my best advice, like Will told me, he say, Kane, you got to keep moving. Don't sit. Don't be still. Do something. I don't care if you're reading a book. Write something. Do something. Because it's true. When you sit and you let your mind dwindle, it's going to start feeding itself that negative high. You know what I'm saying?
And they say that idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah, you're right. Our grandma used to say that. Yeah, and it's just going to keep on going, And the worst thing you can do is not tell somebody. Because if you think you can really just, and I know y'all men, y'all are not too big on sharing y'all emotions and things like that, but talking to somebody so that you can just kind of slightly cope with it a little bit, and everybody is not going to understand you. They not going to understand you. So, going through what I went through, man, I had to self-talk myself so many times, and then it was like, you wake up on a Tuesday, I think today I got it. 12 o'clock come, boom, you ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? Got to get back up, and it's like, dang, it's tough. It is tough, depression, entrepreneurial depression, man, it's real. Man, it is real. And, some people, I know a couple people that, it took them out. It was just so overwhelming,
But when you bounce back, when you were bouncing back from it, was you cognizant of the bounce back? Were you saying, okay, this is the process, I'm going through it, and then you wake up and you feel a little hit, and then you go okay, I'm still fighting through this. I'm getting through this. I'm getting through it. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Did you see that, or did it just happen, and then you say, oh, I think I got through it?
Well, this wasn't my first time going through depression. My last time going through depression was when I was married. And that lasted so long, and it was so intense, I was on medication. I don't even really talk about this. I think this is my first time really talking about it. But I thought I was gonna die, and I really did. I was like, I understand when people really get depressed and they be thinking suicidal, and then you got the other people that might say, how can you? Ain't no way I can kill myself. That's just, you know what I'm saying? That's absurd. No way. You have no idea how your mind gets taken over to the point where you feel like dying is the best option for you to go out. So I had been there before. My mama saved me last time, out of it. And really, this is the first time I'm really talking about this, not going into details about the relationship, but really what pushed me over the edge. But I was about to set the house on fire. I was finna burn that sucker down. I was outside in the garage. I had the gasoline. I was finna burn that sucker down. And my mom, she called me out the blue and was just like, what are you doing? And she was like, something just came over me and said, call you immediately. So just kind of jumping back to just how our bodies are so technologically wired. Think about that. A mother, how she's wired to her children. You know what I mean? Y'all always talk about got that praying mother. You know, I truly believe when that mother is the umbilical cord is connected to that baby, man, that's the lifeline for real. That umbilical cord really never gets cut. Yeah, it might get cut when you're born, but I think every mother has this invisible umbilical cord connected to her children in some form or fashion. That's why she's able to feel when somebody doing something they ain't supposed to be doing, you know. She calls. And I think that's what gives her the drive to always be a praying mother, because she's catching them signals. She may not call you and tell you, but she catching them signals. So when I went through depression this time, it was a lot less severe than the first time. So in the back of my mind, I knew I could make it. I just couldn't see the pathway just yet. It was kind of like if you're a real estate developer, you know this land is valuable. You know yourself is valuable. You know you want to build something. You know you got to do something. Here it is. I got Stack Wealth Network. Like, Kane, just go back. Just go do that. Can't you just do that? It was deeper than that. It was deeper than that. I was like, no. It was like I had to pave this land like for new territory or something. That's kind of how I can explain it. But I think really God, man, sent me through that to really strengthen me. You know what I mean? Because for a long time I had been conditioned, being in that 15-year marriage. Part of you as a woman, you start to depend emotionally, you know, financially, everything on a man, you know. And as you try to find or discover yourself coming out of that, you actually got to be put in circumstances by yourself so that you can be strong. That way now I know for sure if I ever go back down that road, I'm going to feel myself headed that way. You see what I'm saying? So that's why when you said, dang, 6 months a long time, to me 6 months really wasn't a long time for me. I felt like I did pretty good on coming out of it and shaking it off of me. But if I ever go back that way, I'm gonna know that I'm headed that way, you know? And that's just based on saying entrepreneur depression. Who knows what life tragedies bring and other things like that, but I know I'm gonna be able to capacitate it a lot more. I think God is really fortifying me for some other bigger mission. I always felt like that. I really don't know where I'm going, you know? Because God has pivoted me, man, so many freaking times. I be ending up in positions that's just like, I mean, just really, Lord? You know, because I didn't go to college. I don't have a degree. I don't have that piece of paper, you know? But I've always been firm in my faith and say, you know what? I really don't need a piece of paper to put me in position where God really wants me to be. He's always opened doors for me, put the right people in my path, put me where he need me to be. Now, yeah, sometimes I got to fight in the positions where he make me go to war, but I feel like if he didn't feel like I was a soldier, he probably wouldn't put me on the front line. So, you know?
Yeah. At what point did you become interested in technology? Was there something that sparked your interest in particular?
Man, well, it was funny is that I wanted to be a fashion designer. I wanted to be a fashion designer early on as a child. And my dad said, no. He said, the future is going to be technology and you need to learn this. He bought me my first Mac computer when I was 11. And from there, I just started to just be intrigued by these machines. I had a little side job, little side hustle at the age of 12. Remember back in the day how they used to have the labels? You peel off that label, you stick it on the envelope, letterheads and all of that. I used to be the person that made those. So I had all the little tax businesses in Acres Home because that's where I'm from. You know, all the little landscaping and tax businesses. Oh, I was printing up they flyers for them. Yeah, so at 12, now that I think about it, I'm like, Daddy, where my money at? You know what I'm saying? He would cut me $100 a week. You know what I mean?
$100 a week at 11 years old?
Yeah, I
12?
was 11, 12. Yeah,
Damn.
I was feeling like I needed some more money, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had my first business way back then, but he told me you need to be in tech and you need to be in real estate. That's what he told me. Them was the two things. And those have been the things that really, like, carried me on, because I was a realtor at one point, too. And I didn't really like the idea of showing people houses and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of dabbled on the investor side. But then that tech come back and just take me over, you know? It's just something about solving a problem or using a device to produce something that another human being needs. Like, that's what drives me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can do so much. Like, you can literally take a single mom who coming out a 9-to-5 job, who only know about a 9-to-5, and she's hella skilled at, I don't know, bedazzling jeans and shoes and denim jackets and stuff. And she don't even really see, like, that's a unique item. That's a one-off. Do you know, like, people out there want to buy that because they don't want to look like other people? Taking her brand and her passion and helping her monetize that, like, that's magic to me.
So that's what you do with your company?
Well, yes, a portion of it, yeah. So in Stack Wealth.
If I come to Stack Wealth, if I come to Stack Wealth Network and say, look, this is my business, it's a good model. I think it's a good model. We're doing okay, but I think we can do a lot better. Then what do you tell me?
You're going to be on the corporate side, because Stack Wealth Network, that's the business coaching side, group coaching, the videos and all of that is back there. Because at first I used to do one-on-one coaching, but then as people was growing, I can't coach everybody, you know what I'm saying? So I started putting videos.
So you're doing the presentations?
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
When you say, like, for someone like you who joined?
Well, just say, you know, that my company, you come into my company to do a presentation
be on that side
for my employees, right?
Well, yeah, you're going to be corporate, so you're going to be a corporate client. So if you're a corporate client and you contact me and be like, Kane, hey, this is my business model. I got 5, 10 employees or whatever. I'm coming straight in and doing an audit. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, what are you focused on? You focused on trying to organize and get your infrastructure together? Is it you trying to focus on revenue? Which, because we do got sharks, they like straight focused on just straight revenue. That's what we want to focus on. Or is it that you need to get that synergy going with your employees, like the people? They need to be integrated with these systems and upgraded. Your people need to upgrade, because some companies got people who've been with them 5, 10 years, and they don't see that Sister Dolores, she ain't really doing nothing. And she really affecting y'all bottom line. So I come in, I'm going to audit you and your company and see how y'all flow. I'm going to kind of like overshadow everybody. I'm finna straight up identify where y'all lacking systems, any tools, and where y'all leaving money on the table. I do that for about a month, maybe about 3 weeks. Really depends on the size of the company. I'm going to write all of that out. Boom. I'm either give it to the owner or the person they put me in charge with and tell them, this is what I see. This is where y'all need to improve. This is the money y'all leaving on the table. This is about how much right here I think I can get y'all right here. Now, if we scale and we correct all of this, then we can multiply this number right here.
So you have a retainer. Mm-hmm. And then you get a percentage of what you save to save the company.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, it really, I'm so fair with it, because it depends on their position. It could be an equity structure. Could be they only want me from this period to this period, you know, and then they got, some companies can afford a lump sum on the front, some can't afford a lump sum, so it'll be a smaller here, high percentage here. You see what I'm saying? I done had companies pay me on they darn American Express corporate card, because it's beneficial for them.
And how do you help the individual?
Individual, they're going to come into Stack Wealth Network. So Digital Business Boot Camp. That's going to take them through first evaluating. This is solo entrepreneurs. Now we're talking solo entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. These people may not have no employees. They're probably done turned their side hustle into a business. They trying to hit that 6-figure mark, you know. Mm-hmm. They're going to go through a series of videos that actually show them how they should be structuring their business. So we're going to talk about mindset first. Then we're going to be talking about a bit of branding. So it's a checkpoints to make sure that their business is on point and you got all of that going on. Then we move into sales psychology, where they watching videos and I'm teaching them about pricing strategies. Then we move into marketing online, targeting your audience, because a lot of people don't know that. You know, they just, who's your target audience? Everybody. No, it's not. You know?
Right.
And then, so it just moves them down a series all the way down. Once they finish them basics, then they have the opportunity to book a consultation with me, and then I can work with them. So that portion is what I call the DIY. So you do that yourself, right? And then the one, when I'm starting to work with you, I'm working with you, you know, more so not really one-on-one, but I'm guiding you. You got my expertise. You can pick up that phone. You can call me. You can kind of text me, Kane, what should I do here? You know? And then I'm kind of guiding you in that way. And then, of course, the done for you version is people who like, look, Kane, I see what you do. I got the money to pay you. Can you set my business up for me and just call me when the keys to the penthouse is ready? And then I do it like that. So you can either do it yourself, do it with us, or have us do it for you. That's going to be on that side. But a corporate company, I'm coming in there.
Yeah.
Because I ain't trusting nobody else. I'm a Scorpio. Got to have a little bit of control. I got to make sure this stuff done right.
Yeah. Shout out to all the Scorpios
Yes.
out there. You know, from one Scorpio to another, I thank you for coming on the show.
Yes.
And blessing us with your knowledge and expertise. And I look forward to seeing what Stack will be doing in the future. Let me break down Stack for y'all in case y'all don't know what it means.
Yeah. Let me see if you got
Systems, tools, automation, currency, and dun, dun, dun.
He know what it is.
Knowledge. You know what I'm talking about? No more talk. Ladies and gentlemen, Sabrina Kane.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.